All right, in this episode, we talk about the rumor that back leg drive has no correlation to ball speed
and why running throws prove the importance of the back leg.
Brent Porcy and Stephen Godani here at the @TopVelocity hashtag Pitch and Tip Show, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Go there, ask your question at TopVelocity, hashtag Pitch and Tips, hashtag baseball tips. We want to answer your question on the show. We're going to be at the ABCA convention in Nashville, 7th through 10th. Come to our booth. We're going to have a lot of cool things to give away if they show up. I haven't gotten them yet. We're going to have do some demonstrations on our biomechanics and our using the King of the Hill. We're in the King of the Hill booth. We're going to have David Ardsma there. We're going to have a lot of guys there. It's going to be really cool. We're going to try to be productive. We're going to try to teach you guys about what we're doing here. If you haven't checked out the last, episode 103 with Matt Bruce, really defining, laying it out, kind of clearing the air about Olympic lifting with baseball. You need to watch that.
Awesome episode.
And you know what? I didn't want to go to question today. We answered 4 questions last episode, and there's something that's kind of out there, and I like to bring up, be a little discussion, a little rant. And one of the things is there's been this study going around Twitter. Guys are shooting it at me because they think it discredits what we do here. It doesn't discredit it in any way. But it's a study that said they found that there wasn't a correlation of back leg drive to ball speed, but there's a direct correlation to front leg drive to ball speed. Now with 3X pitching, if you have the program and you go into those mechanics guides, you're going to see the same thing, except a little difference. We have one study that said back leg drive, which would be triple extension, if you use triple extension, had a correlation to wrist velocity and front leg drive, and there's tons of studies that front leg drive correlates to ball velocity. We've always been big front leg guys. Just because we talk about back leg, or the approach is called a back leg, or 3X pitching defines a back leg approach, doesn't mean that's all we do. It's a whole sequence of movements up the kinetic chain, and it's very important too when we get to front leg. We have a 2X, and that's the 2 extension, ankle and knee extension, generating force production there. So it's always been a big part of 3X pitching. And you come down to camp and you see it's a very big part, but you will never have a good front leg, or you'll never get the force production you want out of the front leg without understanding and learning a good back leg approach. And that's really what 3X pitching is all about. So I kind of want to clear the air and go at this study that is only showing the back leg not having correlations to ball velocity. The better study, which will eventually come out, will show back leg drive, does it have a correlation with front leg force production? So if the back leg is putting the force, because when we initially move down the mound, we're riding the back leg. No other leg is on the ground, okay? So yes, we could either fall, we could either drive. There's still gonna be a difference if you're a 300-pound man falling or a 150-pound man driving. You could actually make up for the same force production as the 300-pound man falling. That's why it's important, but it's all affecting how we land and how hard we land, which is all the studies are showing is linking to ball speed. So here's the thing, and here's the rant. If you're out there and you see the study, be very, very careful to discredit back leg drive when it says no correlation, because how else is the front leg force production going to be high enough or significant enough to create elite ball speed, which it says there's a direct correlation to ball speed. You're going to have to understand a back leg approach, and you're going to have a really good back leg approach the smaller you are. And even if you're big, it'll still be important. It'll create more force production. So I just wanted to throw this out there because a lot of guys are kind of using it against me, making it sound like back leg should be completely ignored. And everybody already completely ignores it. They're just trying to get the only person who teaches it to ignore it. And I'm not, because like I just said, it correlates to the front leg force production, and it's critical to really understanding how to maximize power up the chain. If you're a guy who throws genetically 85 and you know that's probably all you're gonna be, you need to learn how the back leg puts more force in the front leg generate some more force up the chain. And if you ignore that back leg, then you're gonna be like taking Chapman, who strides almost 7 feet faster than anyone in the game, and you're gonna tell him, hey, there's really no use, Chapman, to you striding that far and that fast. Why don't you just shorten it up and all you do is just stick your front leg and slam it? If you really think that would make him throw 120 miles an hour, I think you need to reassess your logic around the pitching delivery, because obviously, in our perspective, that would devastate his ball speed. There's a reason Chapman strides 7 feet, almost 7 feet down the mound, faster than anyone else in the league, and he throws harder than anyone else in the league. But that isn't the only reason, but it is a significant piece of the puzzle. So, I don't know, am I wrong putting this out there? I mean, Stephen, or do you think those are out there that are reading this study are actually discrediting this? Or what's your opinions on this study? Do you want to add anything to it? I don't know.
I just think the back leg both legs. It's a two-way street. You got to be able to have a good back leg drive, and you got to be able to have a good front leg drive. And there's people that can do it with a good front leg drive and not have as good of a back leg. Like, you are going to see stuff like that in the major leagues. There are guys like that. Like Chris Archer doesn't have that great of a back leg, has a great front leg. But for most people, having a balance of both is huge for ball velocity. The back leg is so crucial for creating momentum down the mound. How else are you going to create momentum down the mound, especially for smaller guys, if you're not driving off of that back leg? So it's like guys are doing these running throws. You know, they're just running as fast as they can. They throw the ball. Like, why are you running as fast as you can and throwing the ball? You're trying to create momentum. You can't bring that on the mound. So how are you going to create the momentum on the mound to be able to throw hard? You have to have a good back leg drive to do that. Into the front leg, which creates more ground reaction forces, and you transfer that back up the chain. We've been saying this forever. So
that makes a great point. So if you're out there and you're discrediting back leg drives, but you're using running throws to increase ball speed for the purpose of, I don't know, placebo, to feel excited you threw the ball as hard as you wanted, even though it was not replicating how you have to throw it on the mound. But if you're out there discrediting back leg drive because of the study, and you do these running throws to increase ball speed, to me that's illogical. You're missing the connection here, because what makes us throw harder in back leg throws is more force being put into the front leg at foot plant to release. And how are we going to do that on a mound? You have to do it with a back leg approach, a back leg drive, to influence the same force hitting the front leg. And that's why approaches that use running throws, all they want to do is just show running throws, because there's not a real correlation in an approach that doesn't use a back leg approach to helping those who have those good running throws understand, how am I going to get that to a mound or transfer that to a mound. So the running throw, to me, is it's good to kind of give your arm and your body a feeling of what that speed is like, but be very careful with it, because if you get too much caught up in that in your training, you might not understand the importance is getting it on the mound, and how am I going to do that? How am I going to make up for that momentum that I put in that running throw? That's going to come from, obviously, a back leg generating that momentum in the front foot strike. So it is challenging, guys. I mean, I understand it. Guys who don't understand the lower half see people making big jumps and running throws, and then science not really understanding the relationship of back foot to front leg force production and the ball speed. Guys want to completely discredit it, but I'm hoping in this video you are understanding, or if I've lost you already, that the back leg is so significant, critical in the entire delivery, because it's really what, just like in the running throw, gives us the energy and puts it into the front leg where the correlations are being discovered. All right, just wanted to throw that out there. If I lost you, post it in the comments that this makes no sense. I get it, that's fine. I'll try to make it more clear and simplified next time. Or if you think we're missing something, if we're off, if our logic isn't there and you want to get into this debate, post in the comments. We'd love to learn this, because this is important to us, because this is really, really what defines 3H pitching. And we know for you to really understand it, you have to be able to understand this argument that's kind of trending right now. And we want to put this video out so you can understand that. So if you have a question for us, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Ask your question at Top Velocity, hashtag pitching tips, hashtag baseball tips. We'll answer it on the show. And like I said, go to TopVelocity.net. If you want to learn more about 3X pitching, you want to learn more about this science, look in my pitching articles. I have a ton of articles referencing to science, defining like the back leg and its correlations to the rest of the delivery and how we use it to increase ball speed. And we'll see you on the next episode.